Hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of the Maconi Setup Shop A-Fix tutorial series. Today we are going to review the Chicago Street Course. This is one of two road courses that are on the schedule for the A-Fix series this season. This is quite the technical track to navigate, so strap in and let's get to it. The first topic we're going to go over is the tires. With this being a road course, it's going to be very important to be extra careful and patient at the start of the race. Being on cold tires, it means that you are going to have a greater chance of locking up the front tires as well as sliding and missing your apex because there's not enough grip in the tires to do what you are asking them to do. As the run goes on and you build heat, you'll notice the car is a lot easier to drive. Throttle management is also going to be very important on the first lap or two. With the tires not being up to temperature, it's going to be very easy for you to spin the rear tires if you're too aggressive getting on the accelerator coming off the corner. And with the narrow racetrack that we have here, as you can see, any mistake that you make is going to be a big one because there's no room to save the car if you do make a mistake. So it's very important to be cautious and patient at the beginning of the race so that you don't lock up your tires going into the corner and slide into a wall or miss an apex because you're not able to slow down, because that'll cost you a lot of time and ultimately it will cost you positions. Another thing that I want to talk about is the bumpiness of the track. With it being a street course, there's a few areas that are pretty bumpy. If you're having problems going over any sort of bumps, I just recommend using less throttle going over them so that the car doesn't get out of shape like we see here. The tires were not up to temperature yet, and I was pushing a little too hard, and that was almost catastrophic. Next thing I want to go over is some technique to help you guys get around this street course. One of the biggest tips that I can offer on a road course is to do all of your braking and shifting before you get to the corners. You don't want to be trying to downshift and slowing down while you're navigating the corner. To make your life a lot easier, I think you'll find that you'll be a lot more consistent, and I think you'll find it is an easier method to get around a road course. Just don't try to do too much. Like I said, I try to do all of my braking and all of my shifting before the corners, and I try to do it in the straightest line possible. If you're turning the wheel while you're trying to slow down and shift, it's going to be really easy to get out of control, whether it be locking up the tires or getting wiggly while you're trying to brake. So it's best to try to brake in a straight line and do all of your shifting and braking before you get to the corner. Another thing that you'll notice looking at my telemetry is my throttle input. I try to be as straight as possible before I get full throttle. I don't like to be full throttle going over the bumps in this car just because it's hard for me to keep control of the car, I find, while going over bumps. With this car being as low to the ground as it is, as well as all the underbody components like the diffuser and the rev blocks, when those things hit the racetrack, it makes the car feel like it's a lot more out of control than it is, and it messes up my rhythm and takes me out of the zone that I'm in, which also affects my consistency and my ability to make consistently quick lap times. Okay, starting this lap, we're going to go through some of the passing zones. Turn 1 is going to be a really big passing zone. I think you'll see a lot of people trying to make a pass down here. Any high-speed, slow corner is going to result in a passing zone. So you have turn 1, turn 2 even could be a passing zone. You'll see a lot of people dive bomb and try to take that inside position. This is going to be a big passing zone as well. right at the end of this little straightaway, you'll see people trying to take advantage of outbraking people trying to get into this first right-hander to set them up for this right-hander here that we see. And of course, another long straightaway into a heavy braking zone with a tight turn. You will see a lot of people try to make a pass down here as well by outbraking people, getting into the corner, and making the person that they're overtaking yield that position because they won't be able to hit their apex. This part of the racetrack, I don't think you're going to see too many passing opportunities. It's just so narrow, too many tight spaces to navigate, which is not going to be ideal to be too wide. This is all just a technical part of the racetrack. You're just trying to protect your position. And then last but not least, the final corner here at the Chicago Street Course. This is another one, a heavy braking zone with a tight turn. You'll see a lot of people try to establish position getting into that corner, which could also result in some contact. So with all that being said, let's switch over to the in-car camera, and you guys can get a visual of these last couple laps from an in-car perspective to make it a little more relevant to what you'll see when you're driving this place. Okay guys, that'll do it for today's video. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below and we will do our best to reply to it. If this video helped you, please consider leaving a like. Also hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so that you'll be the first to see these videos and get the upper hand on your competitors. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you out on the track.